Whether you boil it, fry it, or grill it over an open flame, you can't go wrong with sausage. But did you know there are hundreds of varieties around the world? Let's take a closer look at some of the most popular and delicious varieties. The ever-popular Bratwurst is a German sausage that was created to reduce waste after slaughtering a pig. While pork is the traditional meat for Bratwurst, there are also veal and beef varieties. One of the key features of Bratwurst is the seasonings, which may include pepper, sage, clove, ginger, and nutmeg. Brats are made using raw meat, so it must be cooked before consumption. You can cook it however you'd like, but two of the most popular methods are grilling and frying. Once it's cooked, there are many ways to enjoy Bratwurst, but the most traditional option is on a hard roll. For an authentic German lunch, top it with some sauerkraut and spicy mustard, and serve it with a side of potato salad.
Potato salad?
That's from both of us.
No, it's not.
There are two different varieties of chorizo, one from Spain and the other from Mexico. Let's start with the Spanish version, which is made by combining finely ground meat, traditionally pork, with paprika and other seasonings. The sausage is smoky, and it could be mild or spicy depending on the specific seasonings that you use. The prep process involves curing and smoking the sausages, meaning that they're fully cooked when sold. There are a few different options for enjoying Spanish chorizo. You could slice it and add it to soup or stews, or you could add it to other recipes like paella. Or you could just pair it with cheese whenever you need a hearty snack. Whereas Spanish chorizo is smoked, Mexican chorizo is sold raw, but it must be cooked before you eat it. Also, while the Spanish version is traditionally made with pork, Mexican chorizo could also be made with beef. It's also spicier than its Spanish counterpart. It can be prepared with red peppers and various other seasonings such as clove and cinnamon. Because of how it's seasoned during the prep process, you won't need to do much to enhance Mexican chorizo's flavor. You can add it to tacos, burritos, nachos, or any of your other favorite Mexican recipes. You could also grill it up for omelets or frittatas, add it as a topping on a hamburger, or use it any other way you'd like. Andouille is a French sausage that'll be right up your alley if you enjoy Cajun dishes like gumbo and jambalaya. It's made by finely chopping a pig's small intestines and stomach and combining them with onions and various seasonings. Once mixed, all of the ingredients are added to the casing, which is made from the large intestine before poaching. Cajun-style andouille, most commonly found in the United States, is made slightly differently as it combines meat from a pig's upper shoulder with strong seasoning. Once it's put in the casing, the finished sausage is then smoked. In addition to adding andouille to all of your favorite Cajun recipes, you can include it on a meat and cheese board for an appetizer, or you can boil or bake it to add it to your favorite rice and pasta dishes. Laulau may not match your vision of a traditional sausage. Instead of being placed inside a casing, this popular Hawaiian food is wrapped in taro plant leaves called luau leaves. It's most commonly made with pork, although fish, chicken, or beef can also be utilized. The other key component is salted butterfish, also known as black cod, which is added as a second layer in the wrap around the protein. Years ago, laulau was cooked in an imu, an underground oven that used hot rocks to cook foods. Today, though, it's most often steamed on the stovetop. If you ever visit Hawaii and order a plate lunch, you'll notice that many of them feature laulau, where they're often served alongside rice and macaroni salad.
So many great types of laulau.
Sai Ua originated in the northern regions of Thailand and can now be found across the country. It translates to stuffed intestine, which is pretty much exactly what the sausage is. Sai Ua has a very aromatic flavor, which is imparted by the regional ingredients used to make it. In addition to the pork, recipes often call for red curry paste, lemongrass, turmeric, galangal, and macrit lime leaves. While these ingredients may be hard to come by in many parts of the world, they're much more common in Thailand. Sai Ua specifically uses minced pork, which imparts a coarser texture than many other types. Grilling is one of the most common ways to enjoy eating it, and in Thailand, it's often paired with sticky rice and eaten as an appetizer. South African Boerewors sausage must be made using beef, although other proteins like lamb or pork can be added to the recipe. This coil-shaped sausage is also required to have a meat content of at least 90%, and its total fat content must not be greater than 30%. Vinegar and various other ingredients and spices like black pepper, coriander, allspice, and nutmeg make up the remaining 10% of the recipe. In addition to its distinct flavor, Boerewors also has a unique feel. The meat used to make it is not as finely ground, resulting resulting in a texture that's not as smooth as other sausages. It's a popular dish at South African barbecues. The large coil is grilled up and guests are served slices to pair with the other sides and entrees. Some of the foods commonly served alongside Boerewors include meat kebabs called suasaties, as well as grilled cheese, onion, and tomato sandwiches called Bratwurst. You may also see people enjoying Boerewors on a bun. Salsiccia is a term for fresh Italian sausages, most of which are made using ground or finely minced pork. The ground pork meat is often combined with pancetta scraps or pieces of pork neck. The seasonings and other ingredients added to salsiccia depend on what part of Italy you're in. In the southern regions, common additions include garlic, fennel, sun-dried tomatoes, chili peppers, and bits of caciocavallo cheese. But in the north, it's traditionally prepared with white wine, garlic, cinnamon, and pepper. Grilling the sausage is one of the best ways to eat salsiccia. As it's being cooked, chefs poke small holes about an inch apart using a needle or toothpick. These holes ensure that some of the fat will drain as the sausage cooks. You can also add salsiccia to stews, pasta dishes, sandwiches, or even pizza. In the Philippines, the term Longganisa is used to refer to any type of sausage that's made using spices found in the country. There are several different types of Longganisa in the Philippines, although most feature either pork, chicken, or beef as the protein. Frog powder is a common ingredient across many of the different varieties. Longganisa is most commonly sold fresh, so it must be cooked before you eat it. This sausage is a popular addition to many breakfast dishes, but it can also be an excellent part of lunch or dinner. In many cases, it's served with pickled vegetables or vinegar. Because there are so many different variations throughout the Philippines, the ways that Longganisa can be enjoyed also vary widely. In general, there are two main types: savory and salty, referred to as de recado, and the sweeter variety, referred to as hamonado. An early morning staple nowadays, breakfast sausages' history dates back hundreds of years in the United States. Back in the 1800s, farmers came up with the idea of sausage for breakfast as a more filling meal to start the day. They didn't want to waste parts of the animals that were slaughtered, so they used them to make sausage instead. Not only was this method a clever way to reduce waste, it was also generally affordable, which helped breakfast sausage become popular.
There's more meat to eat.
You can now find breakfast sausage pretty much everywhere, whether in link or patty form. It's traditionally made with pork, although there are several other variations. Browning on a skillet is the traditional way to prepare it. While breakfast sausages include various seasonings, they have a much milder taste compared to other types. Sucuk is a type of spicy sausage from Turkey that's made using beef and occasionally some lamb. There are similar variations that you may find in the Middle East, Eastern European countries, or the Balkans. To make sucuk, ground beef is combined with seasonings such as sumac, garlic, cayenne pepper, and cumin. After the beef and seasoning mixture is added to the casings, it's then cured or dried. Sucuk's higher fat content and seasoning profile allow it to enhance the taste of many different dishes. It may be added to stews, particularly kuru fasulye, a tomato and navy bean stew that's particularly popular in Turkey. It's also served with breakfast and egg dishes or on a platter with bread, olives, and fruit. If you've ever eaten a traditional English or Irish breakfast, chances are you've already encountered black pudding. This is a unique sausage, as it's made using blood, which is mixed with oatmeal and cooked until it becomes thicker. As it cools, the mixture will congeal, giving blood pudding its classic texture. Black pudding is generally healthier than other types of sausage. It's high in protein and low in carbs and calories, and black pudding isn't just for breakfast. For example, you can crumble it and add it to a gravy for added flavor, or add it to mashed potatoes for a savory spin on a classic recipe.
And a breakfast isn't a breakfast without a black pudding.
Now that we've covered black pudding, how about white? Despite both being called pudding when they're both actually sausages, white pudding doesn't utilize any blood like its darker counterpart. Also, the flavor is much lighter and subtler. The traditional recipe, which originates from Ireland, includes pork meat or pork liver, along with oatmeal, bread, and suet. Potato flour and spices may also be added to enhance the flavor. White pudding is another classic component of a traditional Irish breakfast, which may also include eggs, bacon, baked beans, potatoes, mushrooms, and toast. When served alongside breakfast entrees, the sausage is commonly cut into slices before frying or grilling. And despite the name, you are allowed to eat an Irish breakfast at other times of the day as well.
Breakfast for dinner? How very,
European.
If blood sausages sound like too much for your palate, but you'd still like to give a classic British sausage a go, then Cumberland Sausages just might be for you. They're a regional delicacy from the county of Cumberland, which is located in northwestern England. They're traditionally made with fatty cuts of pork that are lightly seasoned with salt and pepper and may contain other basic spices like nutmeg and cayenne pepper. Cumberland sausages have certain other distinctive characteristics that are worth knowing. For one thing, they are unlinked sausages that are usually sold in large ring-shaped coils. And rather than minced meat, they're made with chopped meat, which gives them a pleasantly hearty bite. They're also never pre-cooked and hence need to be boiled, seared, or grilled before they can be consumed. Many folks enjoy eating Cumberland sausages without any accompaniments thanks to their rich and fatty flavor. They're often also used to make certain renowned British dishes like bangers and mash, sausage rolls, and toad in the hole. Cumberland sausages can easily replace blood sausage in a full English breakfast spread, and for a truly traditional meal, you can pair them with Cumberland sauce to really elevate their flavor. Wiejska kielbasa is one of the most popular sausages in Poland. Traditionally made using both ground pork and ground veal, Wiejska is quite delicious. In addition to the meat, typical recipes call for seasonings, specifically marjoram and garlic. Wiejska translates to a rural or country area, and this type of sausage was likely first developed away from the busier cities. Wiejska is smoked, so it's safe to consume without cooking. You can even thinly slice it to make a sandwich, or you could leave it whole and place it on a bun with some sauerkraut and mustard. It can be cooked in many ways for plenty of flavorful options. Consider grilling, frying, or baking Wiejska before adding it to your favorite stew, casserole, or pasta dish. You'll notice its amazing flavor from the first bite. If you ever have the opportunity to visit Austria, don't forget to try some Käsekrainer while you're there. This sausage variety is plump and contains several bits of cheese throughout, which makes sense when you learn that Käse means cheese in German. The inclusion of cheese inside the casing makes for a unique and flavorful taste, but it also almost makes it dangerous to cut into. If you're not careful, the molten cheese on a freshly cooked sausage may come spewing out. Käsekrainer tastes incredible when paired with a roll, mustard, and ketchup, which is how it's most typically served at sausage stands throughout Vienna and other parts of Austria. But there are no rules saying that you can't. For example, grill it up to include in a favorite pasta or rice dish. However you eat it, the gooey cheese is going to taste amazing.
When you need a break, get another sausage. It's the best thing for your stomach.
If you tend toward spicy sausage, then you might just want to try Kupati. This Georgian sausage gets its spice from a mix of coriander, black pepper, and garlic. Some other key ingredients include cinnamon and onions, but you can also find variations that incorporate parsley, mushrooms, cheese, or potatoes. Traditional Kupati recipes feature either pork or beef, and when the sausage is prepared, the casings are shaped into horseshoes. In the Caucasus region, where many people enjoy Kupati, you'll often find it served with sauerkraut. Pomegranate seeds and coriander may also top the sausage as a garnish. While you could choose to boil or bake Kupati, grilling or frying are the most common preparations. Keep in mind that Kupati is raw, so that means you'll definitely have to cook it before eating it if you want to avoid foodborne illness. Sundae sausage from South Korea is a type of blood sausage made with pig's blood, glass noodles, and rice. Other ingredients can also be found in some regional variations, such as fish, squid, bean sprouts, soybean paste, scallion, barley, or kimchi. Because of its ingredients, the texture of Sundae sausage might just have you reevaluating what sausage can be. While it is quite dense with all of the different ingredients stuffed together, the noodles and rice give it more of a gelatinous texture. The original variety of Sundae sausage is believed to have been developed between 918 and 1392 AD during the Goryeo period. There are many different ways to enjoy Sundae sausage. One option is to brown it, slice it, and pair it with apples or potatoes to help balance out its higher iron content. It's also a key ingredient in various Korean dishes such as stir-fry or soup. The pride of Swiss cuisine, Cervelat is widely recognized as the quintessential sausage of this alpine country. Many claim that the first Cervelat recipes included brains, although that's somewhat debatable. The modern version is made with a combination of pork and beef, along with some bacon, pork rind, and a few simple spices for added flavor. The meat mixture is then stuffed into casings made with Brazilian zebu cow intestines. One of the reasons Cervelat is so beloved is its convenience, as it's pre-cooked and can be eaten as is. However, it can also be boiled boiled, seared, or grilled to further elevate its texture. Though most Swiss people enjoy Cervelat by slicing it open at both sides and then grilling it over a wood-packed fire pit, it can also be incorporated into some classic regional recipes. One of them is Arbiter Cordon Bleu, in which the sausage is slit from the center, packed with cheese, mustard, and pickles, then wrapped in bacon and baked. Or if you want Cervelat on your pizza, you can do that too. If you don't eat meat but would still like to try Cervelat, there's good news, as vegetarian and vegan versions made with ingredients like tofu and beans have also become a staple in Switzerland. Ćevapi is a beloved sausage from the Balkans, celebrated for its perfectly crispy sear with a juicy center. It's widely enjoyed across all the former Yugoslavia countries and Bulgaria, making it difficult to pinpoint where exactly it originates from, although many link its emergence to the time when the Ottoman Empire ruled over the Balkans. Though there are numerous versions of Ćevapi from all of these countries, the most popular way to make it remains with beef and pork meat, particularly the fatty kind. Sometimes onion or garlic are added to boost the flavor, while other seasonings like salt, pepper, and paprika remain staples in Ćevapi across most regions. Some people even use baking soda in their recipe to make the meat extra succulent. Besides its flavor and varieties, what makes Ćevapi unique is that it isn't packed in any casing, despite technically being a sausage. After the meat is minced and mixed with spices, it's directly rolled into sausages and grilled. Ćevapi is delicious enough to be enjoyed on its own, although in most Balkan countries, it's commonly eaten with the type of regional flatbread, a rich spread made with clotted cream called kajmak, a roasted red pepper sauce, and some raw onions. Outdoor living is a big part of Australian culture, so it's no shocker that backyard sausage grilling sessions are quite the tradition down under, and snag is just an Australian term for a sausage, which makes sense considering that Aussies have plenty of unique culinary nicknames.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
And since these snags are cooked over a barbecue, it only makes perfect sense to call them barbecue snags. These beloved sausages are a bit similar to the American variety, as most types are made with pork or beef, but you can also find varieties made with non-traditional meats like emu or even kangaroo. It's also worth noting that most of these sausages aren't pre-cooked. Barbecue snags are grilled until they have a smoky finish with a tender and juicy interior, while grilled snags can be eaten as they are. They're especially delicious when paired with sauces like ketchup and mustard. A popular way to enjoy snags is by placing them in slices of bread and topping them with simple condiments, which is also called a sausage sanga in certain regions of the country. India might not come to mind for most foodies when thinking of sausages, but don't sleep on Choris, which comes from the state of Goa in southwest India. There were Portuguese settlers in the area for centuries, which led to the locals taking inspiration from their chorizo. There are similarities between Choris and chorizo, as they both use pork meat and have casings made with pork intestines, but what sets Choris apart is that it's made with local ingredients. This unique sausage is heavily spiced with red chilies and also contains toddy vinegar, made from coconut sap, which is abundant in Goa. After the spicy meat is stuffed into casings, Choris is smoked and then sold in local markets. Often smoked over coconut husks, this process imbues the sausages with a flavor that's unique to the area. Every part of Goa has its own recipe for Choris. Some of these include cashew feni, which is a local alcoholic beverage that adds a zesty flavor. Choris needs to be boiled or seared before eating, and some common ways to enjoy it are with the type of soft bread called pav, or as a part of rice dishes like pulav. Heading back to Germany, it's time to dig into Liverwurst. Although liver is obviously the primary ingredient, the rest of it can be other types of offal, or even meat. To get into specifics, it contains at least 30% pork, sheep, veal, beef, or goat livers, although the recipes for German Liverwurst differ depending on what part of the country you're in. In addition to the offal and the meat, the sausage is also packed with various seasonings and spices like salt, pepper, and coriander. These additions help make it palatable even for people who aren't the biggest fans of liver.
What is that, Liverwurst?
Liverwurst is pre-cooked so that it can be eaten as it is, and one of the most popular ways to enjoy it is spreading it on slices of bread thanks to its pâté-like consistency. Some folks also enjoy grilling or frying their liverwurst and then serving it alongside eggs for breakfast. Once made to extend the shelf life of meat, Rookworst is now a cherished delicacy in the Netherlands. It's usually made with minced pork, though there are also versions made with beef and veal, along with vegetarian options. The meat is seasoned with spices like pepper, nutmeg, and salt, and it's available in both raw and cooked forms. Dutch people mostly devour cooked Rookworst with mustard or have it with stamppot, a beloved dish consisting of mashed potatoes and vegetables. Rookworst is packed in natural casings and then smoked, giving it a lovely, crispy texture along with a uniquely deep and smoky flavor. No wonder the word Rookworst literally translates to smoked sausage. It's easy to identify Rookworst visually thanks to its signature horseshoe shape. This was originally done because tying the ends made it easier to hang and smoke it back in the day, and it's still sold in the same traditional shape today. Though it is often overlooked, Central Asian cuisine offers fantastic delicacies like the remarkable sausage known as Kazy. In Central Asian culture, horses have long been valued both for transportation and food. And this is exactly what sets Kazy apart from other types of sausages, as it's made with horse rib meat. The meat is left whole rather than being chopped or ground, and then it's stuffed into horse intestines, giving it a wholesome bite. It's also lightly seasoned with salt and simple spices like pepper and garlic. Kazy is available in both raw and fully cooked forms, with the cooked version generally being boiled and then sold in local markets. Kazy is a major part of celebrations in countries like Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan, where it's added to recipes like a rice dish with meat called plav, or a noodle dish with sliced sausage or meat called norin. In Kazakhstan, Kazy is enjoyed with local bread and also served with traditional dishes like beshbarmak, which is a noodle dish with meat. If you ever travel to these countries, you'll also probably come across smoked or dried versions of Kazy in the food markets. A North African specialty, merguez is a sausage that's popular in Libya, Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco. It's typically made with lamb meat and fat. Unlike many other sausages, it's never made with pork due to the predominantly Muslim population in the region, although there are versions made with beef and veal. Merguez can easily be recognized by its striking crimson color, which comes from the addition of harissa, an African chili paste, which also makes the sausage extra spicy. Merguez recipes vary from one region to another, with some including added spices and even rose petals. In addition to the unique flavor, this sausage is special because it's available in two forms: stuffed into casings or simply rolled into a sausage shape and then grilled, the latter being the more popular method. Merguez is commonly eaten with couscous and added to classic North African egg dishes, but due to its rich flavor, people also love eating it by itself. You might be surprised to know that merguez is an equally important part of the food culture in France after colonizing parts of North Africa. The French loved the sausage so much that they took it back with them, leading to it becoming a staple in their own country as well.